I was treated for stage 4 adenoid cystic carcinoma cancer starting last March. This is October of 2022. Pretty much wrecked my body, impacted my psyche and all that. The whole, C word does that, but this has been a pretty bad one. They had to do surgery to remove the initial tumor that was here, but the cancer had spread up the nerve bundles to the top of my head. So they removed the original tumor, lymph nodes in the neck, and the entire bundle up to the top of my brain. It was a few centimeters away, actually millimeters, going into my brain, so they caught it just in time. That has worked so far, and actually that was followed by 35 radiation treatments, proton radiation. I got pretty burned up. Radiation, they call the gift that keeps on giving. So the impacts of that go on for years afterwards, which I'm feeling now. This type of cancer has a tendency to metastasize to the lungs specifically. So they started monitoring the lungs immediately, and within 3 months it had already created a tumor in the right lung and a couple of spots in the left lung. They're watching these, but this doubled in 6 months, so they went after this with intense radiation. And so far that has been clear, and my head and neck have been shown no evidence of disease since those treatments. So I'm working to get some semblance of my physical form back into function. I couldn't walk for a long time, I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat. Drinking was difficult. Everything that involved using the mouth and the throat were still are for sure to be difficult. I still have a hard time eating solid food, but working on it. So I got a personal trainer about 6 months ago and was determined to get some strength back, because I was pretty much laying on the couch, unable to move for quite a long time. So I'm at a point now where I can walk again. I can walk the dog, I won't call it hiking, but walk a few miles. But I'm going to go through some of I figured out recently that I don't need her gym to do some of the exercises. So I started doing that every day in the bathroom. Start with a warm up and then a couple of exercises. Also recently, now 3 months ago, had another surgery. I have now checkups every 3 months to scans, evaluations to see where the cancer is or if it has come back. My checkup in July of this year, I thought it was going to be a routine checkup. My primary oncologist came in, and I have at least 9 different oncologists. There's a different oncologist for radiation, for surgery, for every part of my body. So I had 2 for my head, including a neurosurgeon. Head, neck, thoracic, and then all kinds of ancillary treatments, oral, oncology. I'm being seen at MD Anderson. The visits there saved my life, and I have a broad spectrum of care. So one of the things that has happened in this treatment cycle is that I developed something called osteoradionecrosis, that is bone death from radiation. I knew that something was wrong at the beginning of the year because I had a wound on my neck that wouldn't heal and it was constantly oozing stuff. Went back a couple times to look at that. They kind of held off about treatment because treatment was surgery. They decided in July that they had to go ahead and do surgery. So on that Monday for my checkup, I got the news from my primary head oncologist. He's also referred to as El Jefe. He said, I've got the good news, the cancer has not reoccurred, but you do have this infection and bone death going in your jaw, so we're going to have to go into the same area and do surgery. They did surgery from within my mouth and also on the outside. The incision pretty much along the same line is what they had to do originally. So this is a warm-up that she has me do. In both directions. Still stretching, and this really does stretch. The leg is just marching in place for balance as well. My balance was thrown off by the surgery and treatment. Step forward, step backward, step forward, and step backwards, and then repeat on the other side. And then kick outs. This is my favorite thing in the world. We normally do this on the bench, squats. See, and the bathtub ledge makes for the perfect position to do this. Slowly go down, control the drop. Up and down. And push out with my feet into the floor, right down into the road. Yeah, we do this about 7 to 10 times. Pretty much everything we do 7 to 10 times. The ledge going into the shower is the perfect height to work the ankles. That's also part of stability. My stability balance was gone for quite a while. So this is what I use to stabilize myself. I can do ankle lifts in the back. I don't fall over. And if I shift to the back of my foot, I can lift from the front. We normally do 10 of these as part of a circuit. This is one of the things that I do for balance. It's fairly difficult for me, standing on this balance ball and then shifting my weight, engaging the core, which I always forget, and trying to stand on one foot. In the gym, I use the rack bars to balance up or to catch myself when I'm going to lose it. This leg is, I call my weak leg, because in order to rebuild my jaw and my head, they had to remove bone from the bone in the back here to reshape a new jaw, and they took materials from my thigh to rebuild the inside of my mouth and parts of my face and head. This whole part of my head was rebuilt as well as part of my plastic surgeon, reconstructive surgery. I have a really, really good plastic surgeon. This is an inclined push-up that we normally do on the rack in my personal trainer's gym, but the counter is about the right height to do this. It's supposed to come in and out on one arm.